Hi Drive Radio fans, your host John Rush. Long review of the 2015 Subaru Outback. They've redone the front end of the car. As you can tell, it's got a little sleeker look to it. The 4-cylinder model actually has some shutters in the grille that actually open and close to help with fuel economy. This particular model here that we test drove has the 3.6 liter boxer engine in it. We averaged 27 miles to the gallon, so it could approach the 30 depending upon your driving style and where you're driving. As always, and my son talked about in the short review, Richard, who's behind the camera now, Subaru, well known for their symmetrical all-wheel drive. Outback, of course, has a really cool roof rack system built in. These go sideways where they're usable for bikes and kayaks and all that sort of stuff, skis, etc. When not in use, you can fold them up, you get better aerodynamics. You know, people don't realize this, but roof racks can detract about a mile to the gallon, sometimes 2 miles to the gallon. So Subaru's done a good job with making the roof rack be hidden back up top here, which is really a cool feature. And Outback, you know, legendary. I mean, this car's been around for a very long time. This, I believe, is the 5th generation. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's the 5th generation Outback. And they've done a fantastic job. I mean, this car can go off-road. It's not going to do hardcore four-wheeling, of course, but if you want to take it up, go fishing, camping, skiing, biking, you want to go mountain biking and get back into a rougher area, this car has good departure and approach angles, etc. So you've got the ability to do that. They also, when they redesign this, we'll get into this in the interior portion, but they've redone some of the interior. The nav and radio head unit, which has been our biggest complaint with Subaru, they've now upgraded. I'm guessing that's going to go through the whole 2015 models, at least I hope it does. They also made this car quieter, and that is one thing that I did notice. We'll talk about that in the driving portion that's coming up next. But they did make the car overall a lot quieter than what it's been in the past. Subaru, it seems like every generation they're just getting more refinement, more refinement. But to Richard's point, this car is, he talked about this in the short review, this car as it sits right now, this particular model that we drove, $36,000. If you add the EyeSight package to it, which gives you the collision warning, adaptive cruise, some of those features, you know, lane departure, it approaches $40,000. Now, to Richard's, you know, point of view, that's pretty high for this class of a vehicle. On the same token, you're getting the Subaru quality, Subaru well-known symmetrical all-wheel drive. This car will go anywhere you want to go in the winter time. They've upgraded the interior to where it is much more luxurious, so they are approaching kind of that low-level luxury market, yet it's still an Outback. So you'll have to be the judge of that. There's 3 different models of the Outback. Again, don't quote me on that. That stuff you guys can go on the website, figure out for yourself, go to the dealer, drive one, and as we always say, that's something you need to do before you buy any car new. But hey, join us. We're going to continue on with the driving portion. All right, folks, driving portion. We're switching this up just a little bit, show you a little more of the interior. We'll do the entire interior as we come back in a minute, but as you can see, this is a very, very, you know, nice car inside. They've done some other things for 2015, the wood grain, new radio nav system, which we'll show in a minute as we're driving. But you can just see, Richard, kind of get a shot. They've redone some of the center stack here. You know, nice big console here, cup holders. You can actually put some decent sized cups in, automatic parking brake. They've got the X mode button you can hit here. Of course, gear shift selector, which you can put to manual and use the paddle shifters up here on the steering wheel if you'd like. I'll fire it up where you can actually see some of the radio, you know, nav systems coming up, and they're calling this the Starlink. I haven't read all about that to figure out what that is. But one of our biggest complaints on Subaru in the past has been their radio and audio system. And man, Richard, they finally have got this much better than it's ever been. In fact, this is a home run. This has done a very, I don't know whether this has to do with their partnership with Toyota. Richard was commenting how this looks very similar to what Toyota's got with their Intune. I don't care where it came from. I don't care how they did it. This is so much better than what they've had in the past. This is a 2015 deal maker. If you're looking at a 2014, wanting to know whether to buy a 2015, no offense, buy the 2015, if nothing else, just for this feature side of the fence. Agree, Richard?
Yeah, I mean, it's a slam dunk home run. I mean, we can kind of, you can see the backup camera, and overall this is just so much better. Instead of that little, before, if everyone can see, it's basically you kind of take this, trim off about a ½ inch, and that's what you had, and it was just that. You didn't have any of these touch buttons or anything, and these aren't buttons, these are actually touch screens, so it's very new age, very fancy, that sort of thing. So overall, Subaru, especially for my generation, which I'm concerned about that, slam dunk.
Yep, no, they did a great job. Now, driving wise, again, legendary Subaru performance. Their boxer engine, symmetrical all-wheel drive, which keeps their center of gravity very low. You know, chance of rollover, etc., is extremely low. This is one of the safer SUVs that you're going to go out and buy. As I noted in the earlier portion of the review, they're much quieter now than 2015 model, and it's one of the things I noticed right off the bat driving it. And you can see right now I'm doing 25 miles an hour. You hear little to no road noise. You know, it just works really, really well. So new vents, Richard was going to show you over here. So explain that, Richard.
It's just a new venting system, different. Normally you kind of have the defrosters over here. You now have them up here, and it's also kind of a little blind spot mirror, or not mirror, but a window here.
It's a lookout.
It's a lookout, yeah. Not necessarily a blind spot, but it instead of this A pillar, instead of it being all the way back, you now have a little bit of just honestly a different view.
Yeah, well, and they've got a nice sloped windshield to help with aerodynamics. Again, I talked earlier, 27 miles to the gallon is what we've been averaging, but you know, newly designed 2015 Subaru Outback. This car gets a 6-star if they're, you know, we do 1 to 5 stars, but this car I would give a 6-star. This is just a great car. It's one of those cars where you just get in it, it feels comfortable, you drive it, you just enjoy it while you're driving it. It works. It's agile, the performance is great, and we're getting close to 30 miles to the gallon, which that's new for Subaru. Typically Subarus have not been great on the economy side of the fence, but they have made huge strides in the last really 4 to 5 years. And again, this is a great car. They've done a fantastic job, and this is a car we would highly recommend. So if you're interested in a Subaru, go see your dealer. Keep watching us. We'll go through the interior portion of it and finish up the review. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed the driving portion of the review, and I wish you could go along with us. That would be a lot of fun. Don't quite know how to do that yet, but interior portion. Nice automatic hatch, which I love. This manual hatch stuff that a lot of manufacturers still use needs to go away. The automatic thing works so much better. Nice privacy cover that comes with it, and of course, again, legendary, you know, Subaru, they build these things where you can use them. It's got a nice mat back here, nice room behind the rear seat. Really, this car has as much room behind the rear seat as what you'll find in, you know, Grand Cherokee. Richard, help me out with that. What other type of vehicles are this size?
Cherokees as well.
Small Cherokee. Anyway, some of the mid-size SUVs, this has got as much back end room to it. Even though the car doesn't look as big, it kind of still has a little bit of a station wagon-ish, you know, feel to it, if you would, to where there's more room in this back end. And again, this is the kind of, you know, this is what the cars are competing with. Somebody actually on the radio show a couple of weeks ago asked, you know, would I prefer this over the new Cherokee? That's a tough call. They're both very good vehicles, but I'll be honest, by the time it's all said and done with the versatility side of the fence, this is going to be tough to beat, even over the Cherokee. Why? Legendary Outback, symmetrical all-wheel drive. They've got the power. This car runs better in the 3.6 liter engine than what the Cherokee does. The Cherokee has a terrible bad blind spot in it, which I hate. This car does not have. This car has a bigger back end than the Cherokee has. Again, you be the judge. I'm not going to compare those two in this particular review. That's just one of the questions that came up, which, by the way, we answer those questions on the radio show all the time. But that's the back end. Let's go to the middle seat. You can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. And again, compared this to the Cherokee, you know, there's more room here, and Richard, you can attest to that. This car actually has more leg room in it than what the Cherokee has, doesn't it? It does.
It's really nice, and for an Outback, you'll notice that I'll show you in a second, there's some vents up there, and there's also some seat heaters, which, once again, for this car and for the Cherokee did not have that, and roughly they're about what's the Cherokee run?
About the same price.
Exactly.
So they compete really. That's why the call to the radio station or the radio show came in that way. They really do compete head to head. Richard talked about earlier in his short review, you know, they've redone some things on this new 2015 model. Nice wood grain. They've just done some nice interior features. There's even a center console that flips down back here, you know, for the people in the back seat. These back seats, they recline, I believe, also. So they recline up and down, or, you know, I should say back and forth. Yeah, right here with this lever. So again, makes a very comfortable, you know, even back seat passenger. This is a great car. I'm a Subaru fan. You know, yeah, it's a Boulder type car, and we live in Boulder and do a lot of reviews here in Lafayette. But you know, you can't beat the Subaru. They just do a great job. Here's the interior. Hopefully you enjoyed some of what we did in the driving portion as we talked about the head unit and some of the things there. But they've just done a lot of neat upgrades inside. And this 2015 model just stepped the game up one step further. Is this a car that we would recommend highly to buy? Yes. This always has great reviews. Subaru does a great job with their customer service. They have a fantastic dealer network, at least here locally where we're at they do. This is a great Colorado car. In fact, most people don't know this. Colorado has the second highest sales of Subarus of anywhere in the country, only second to Vermont, believe it or not. So we sell more Subarus or buy more Subarus here in Colorado than anywhere in the entire country, partially why you see so many of them on our roads. But this is a great car. If you got any questions, as Richard always says in the short reviews, email us, let us know what questions you've got, and we'll answer them. drive-radio.com is how you can find us. If you found us on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel, which you maybe already have. If you haven't, please do. If you found us through our website, some of you radio listeners that have found us that way, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That helps us out. Watch some of the ads that are there. That also helps us. We appreciate all the help we can get that way. But again, we're on every Saturday, 10 a.m., 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on AM 560 KLZ. You can find us at AM 560 The Source. TuneIn app, listen live, podcasts are on the website. Also, we are on SoundCloud for all of our podcasts, which are getting more and more popular all the time. So again, we appreciate you listening, watching. Stay tuned. We'll have another review shortly.